Dear Father, this will be the last time you ever hear from me. Whenever you think of me, I want you to remember the small little girl who had to hide under her covers while her father entered the room because she was too scared and ashamed to look him in the eye.
People today just don't unplug. They are connected 24/7 to the internet, cell phones, Blackberries, emails, Facebook. You're at the dinner table, you're taking work calls, you're taking work emails, you're looking at your Blackberry. Your kids are constantly plugged in. As a society, we sometimes lose perspective. We don't have our priorities in line. And that's why this issue of child pornography is so huge in this day and age.
The Child Sexual Predator Unit was really born from what's been a proliferation of child sexual abuse cases in the last decade. In the old days, predators would go out and snatch kids off the street. Now, you literally have thousands of predators sitting behind their computers in their homes, and they're luring our children through social media, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter.
Seldom can you identify the person just by looking at them. Their behavior is normal, but yet again they can molest a child within seconds.
All of these predators have computers or cell phones, and we're finding evidence on those of either that victim or other victims or child pornography on their laptop or their cell phone.
You basically have adults preying upon kids who are the victims here. Someone goes on to the internet and looks at child pornography. A child at that very moment is not being victimized, one might think, but actually the child is, because that child who's been violated, photos taken of that child, films, doing terrible things, is now being viewed by thousands and thousands, mostly men, throughout the world at any time of day. And the crime continues over and over and over again.
The Child Sexual Predator Unit is a highly trained task force of forensic experts who are using technology to go after these predators who are also using technology.
This is our computer forensics lab. In here we have 3 forensic workstations that we examine digital evidence on. Digital evidence could be the hard drive from a desktop computer or a laptop, memory card from a cell phone, camera memory cards, cameras, thumb drives, loose hard drives. Sometimes the information might just be a photograph. Sometimes the information is what time the person actually went to the internet. We have 13 cases on the board. One of those cases could have 20 different items in it.
Loose hard drive, 1 cell phone.
The 2 laptops, 1 hard drive, a cell phone, iTouch, a thumb drive, and CDs. 2 towers, 5 cell phones, a camera, and a memory card.
In child molest cases, lots of times the case starts out as a he said, she said. You have a child saying that someone did something to them that they shouldn't have. We're able to corroborate the child's evidence, and we've had great success. In the last 4 months, we've had 3 cases where the defendant ended up pleading guilty without ever going to court. We saved the victim from having to go into court. We just found this mountain of evidence that proved that what the child said was true.
The Hernandez case is a case of a 12-year-old girl who was visiting a friend.
He had his daughter invite girls over to spend the night at his house. He would encourage them to watch movies on his bed, and basically the kids would go to sleep, and he ended up molesting several girls.
The friend's father decided to touch her in a sexual way, and while he did that, he took pictures of his hand.
I examined his phone first, and I knew what make his phone was. I then examined his computer. I found photographs that were basically of a little girl's private parts, and in some of them there was what appeared to be a man's hand in the photos.
When the 12-year-old saw the pictures of her genitalia, she actually had a panic attack. I always describe it as the victim's life being a vase, a crystal vase that has suddenly shattered because of an incident that has occurred.
When we started looking at the pictures, we're going, well, he must have taken those. We got the GPS coordinates that showed where they were, and it was right in line with his house. He has tattoo like blue dots on his fingers right here. This bottom picture is from his phone. This is the picture we took in court.
Photos we took in the cell of Mr. Hernandez perfectly matched.
You combine this with the GPS, with the girl's story, and it really ties him tightly to this case.
Hernandez claimed that a nephew of his had put the photographs on his computer. We were able to find out his nephew was in custody when those photographs were put on the computer, so that alibi didn't wash.
Basically corroborating her story and not a he said, she said type situation.
Our child sexual predator unit, it works with all of the local police agencies, the sheriff, the police departments, and the federal government to not only target the predators, but then to gather the evidence and analyze it in a timely manner.
As a small agency, we rely on cooperative partnerships so that we can pool our resources and develop a much more robust ability to investigate those crimes.
It's a huge asset to bring these resources together, especially in times of fiscal constraint that we're all going through. An agency might only have 3 or 4 detectives and they have to split monitoring these folks. We're able to bring an event together that pools all of our resources and pays the attention to these subjects. This is day 2 of Operation Vigilance, which is our compliance checks and search checks. As many of our 290s in Yolo County as possible. We have about 430 roughly right now. Unique about this operation is that we brought in not only the DA's office high-tech unit, but we have people from Sac Valley High-Tech, as well as computer forensic folks from the FBI. So we have a lot of resources at hand. All right, thank you guys. And again, any questions, just call the command post.
Your 290 is going to be a very compliant population when it comes to parole and probation. Searches and things being in order, it's easier. But once you want to get down to the secrets and what they're really into and what they're doing, it takes a lot more investigation work. They want to do the right thing while they're on parole because they really don't want you looking into their background.
What's your password on this one?
That's my mom's computer.
If you don't want to give me the password, I'll just seize it. We'll take it back to my lab and you'll get it back in a couple of weeks.
So do you know the password?
Welder.
You shall not view, possess, or have access to any sexually oriented or stimulating material.
These were items found in one of our targets' homes. These could be considered child lures, and the defendant may not have contact with anyone under the age.
He was arrested during the sweep. He was in possession of a bag that had kids' toys and condoms. Is this precursor activity? To ignore it would be irresponsible.
A major change in the way we prosecute cases has come from the fact that we're now finding this very powerful evidence on these laptops, phones, and other technology devices.
The secrecy is what protects these individuals. The threat, the thing about don't tell anybody.
One of the most tremendous benefits to this advancement in technology and our ability to do searches the way we do them is that these lives, these offenses that have long been kept secret by victims who are afraid and ashamed, by the offenders who count on that shame and that now those secrets don't have places to hide.
In a tremendous increase in our convictions in the last 5 or 6 years. You have the evidence in hand that you can clearly show this individual, hey, this is what you have been doing. We have this came from your computer.
If the Davis Police Department was forced to rely on some other means of collecting evidence than the District Attorney's high-tech task force, we would end up having additional costs, much more delay in our investigations, and perhaps risk the loss of important evidence.
If we lost the funding for this unit, we're really going to be stepping back into some prehistoric times when it comes to forensic evidence in these cases. Delay is going to be the main thing we're going to see. Cases will be delayed for months or years. Victims will be forced to suffer by the delay, and justice will be denied for all the parties involved. It would not be a good thing.